Welcome, everybody, to the Scale Up Show. This is your host, Ryan Staley, and I have a very special guest with me today. I have Amanda Kahlow. Amanda was previously the founder and chairman of 6 Sense. On top of it, now she is the CEO of OneMind. Really cool things that she's done. I think she grew up below the poverty line, grew up in 22 houses before the age of 18, has 2 kids, 4 and 2. So she's being a mom CEO. And then on top of it, too, is transforming the future of go-to-market with effectively AI agents or superhumans, as she calls it, specifically as it relates to go-to-market. Amanda, welcome. Happy to have you here.
Thanks for having me, Ryan. Excited to be here.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of what I covered in your bio is within my love language, right? You got GTM, you got AI in there, you got family, you got a lot of perseverance where you overcame some things. So props to you for making all that happen and what you're doing today. I'm really excited about it. So
Thanks.
did I miss anything, right? I know obviously it's hard to cram a big portion of someone's life story in a short time frame, but did I miss anything about your background, kind of where you're at, where you're heading, and what's important to you?
No, not really. Primary background, I've been a serial entrepreneur, 3 companies. First one went on for 16 years. Second one was 6 Sense, founder and former CEO, and now OneMind. And I've been an AI first CEO. I believe in AI as the framework and the future. I believed in it 13 years ago when we started 6 Sense, and now even more so with OneMind. But I think you got my background pretty good.
Okay, cool. Well, let's get into a little bit about OneMind. Walk us through exactly what, because agents has a loose term, right? Agents, depending on who you ask, there's a lot of, I don't know. I don't want to say shit talking because that's kind of like shit posting on like Twitter or something, or X. I don't mean like that, but there's people that refer agents as anything all the way from a co-pilot to an autonomous agent. And I know that OneMind has a really cool solution because I've seen it live. Can you walk us through what you're doing, how you define it, and the outcomes it creates?
Yeah, so we are creating, OneMind we're creating superhumans. We like to say in the early days, there was chat, we had bots, they were deterministic. Then we moved into the world of agents as in co-pilots, and agents and co-pilots are really good at basic, simple workflow, task-based systems, automating and creating efficiency gains. At OneMind, we're creating superhumans. They have a face, a voice, and a go-to-market brain to do the things that a human does in a human-like way. So what I mean is that they are spinning up a virtual desktop. Every time you talk to a superhuman, she has her own virtual desktop, and she can do the thing a human can do. She can qualify, she can pitch, she can share slides, she can give a demo, she can join a Zoom. So across your go-to-market, and then she can onboard customers and follow them all the way through. So our goal is to create these human-like experiences to give control back to the buyers out of your sellers' pockets. And if we create a more delightful buying experience, making it easier for buyers to buy, but not just gaining access to the information, but understanding how their solutions solve a pain point that your buyers are looking to solve. And if you can do that in the most empathetic way, always on, always available across every channel, there's massive gains for organizations as a result. So we're not at AGI yet. That is where we're going, where we're trying to bring in more, call it emotion and human capacity into the experience. So she is a way of conveying information and understanding the needs, looking up what's the information in CRM and HubSpot or in Salesforce and bringing that into the conversation. So I like to call them agents because I think agents are more of kind of like the agent task, the workflow task-based things. And this is the next evolution of AI.
So it's funny, as you were talking through that, one of the things in the way you described it, where it's like a better experience, and I've seen it is the core focus still across the 3 functions for product-led growth, right? That kind of nurturing inbound BDRs, and then sales engineers. Are those still the core 3 use cases that basically OneMind provides, or is it kind of expanded since I saw this 2-3 months ago?
Yeah, it's a good question because the truth is she is not really myopically focused on one role. She can do all the things, but I don't think the market is ready for that yet. So we are selling this as, yes, she is your inbound superhuman that can meet your buyers, give the pitch, qualify, ask the questions, book the meeting with your AE. Or the place where it makes so much sense is for PLG companies. PLG companies, product-led growth companies, have a unique challenge in that, and an opportunity, actually it's not a challenge, it's more of an opportunity. They have hundreds of thousands, if not in some cases, millions of pay-as-you-go or free trial users. And they're trying to move those to committed contracts. They're trying to get squeeze more juice, right, out of the orange. And you can't put a human on all of those conversations. When you have 30 million free trial users, you can't engage with a human experience. But your buyers and your customers want that human experience. They want to know how to use your product, how to align it to the pains of their business. So it just makes a lot of sense to say, why not let the superhuman engage with them and share the value, demo the product, tell them how to use it, show case studies and other user experiences with other customers in their same industry and vertical to help them understand the value that they can achieve if they use your product to its fullest potential. And then the third one is, as you said, sales engineers. She becomes a ride along. She's on a Zoom call or on Teams, on Google Meet. She's there and she's in what we call passive mode. So she's waiting to be called upon. So imagine every call, not just your strategic, enterprise deals, but your commercial deals gets a solutions engineer, a $3K a year solutions engineer that doesn't cost that much, by the way. But you get a superhuman that's waiting in passive mode to be called upon. So she's just hanging out and you're like, hey, Mindy, can you answer that last question? She jumps in, she answers the question, she gives the demo, she shares the slide, and she gives the sales rep the confidence to know that anything that comes at them in that call will be addressed. And even if they know the right slide to show themselves, I think one thing that these superhumans are really good at is we have capacity limitations. If you asked me a question, Ryan, and said, hey, Amanda, pull up this slide of your technical architecture, I'd be like, let me go find it. Of course, I have it. Of course, I probably know where it is, but I can't carry on a conversation, go grab it, bring it back into the conversation, and keep the flow. But the superhuman can't. She can have access to 20,000, 100,000 slides, and instantly, when the right question comes up, she shows the right answer with the right solution, the slide, the case study, the video, et cetera, to support what she's talking about.
Yeah. My wife would probably agree with you with what you're talking about. I suck at multitasking. I'm terrible at that. So what you're referring to where sometimes it's just I don't know, focusing on too many things or trying to pull something up where you having the conversation really deeply focused or multiple people talking. And what you're starting to talk about, and feel free to use this, but it kind of reminds me of the difference in experience that someone would have. Don't shoot me Google on this one, but of Google search versus Perplexity right now with that difference where it's you pop up Google, it still gets the job done, right? However, there's examples where it's just Perplexity is 10 times more effective just because it's super clean and easy to use. So, and the PLG part, I think there's got to be so much opportunity there. Is that what you're seeing the most momentum on? Or when you talk about kind of these different capabilities, what are people getting most excited about? And then what's the visceral reaction that they're having? Because there's a lot of different ways that people could kind of take this.
Yeah. I think I like to say, I want to be honest with where we are and what we're capable and what the market is ready for. And we need to earn the right to have a conversation in your enterprise deals, right? So allow me to talk to the deals that are sub 100, right? Allow me to talk to those accounts that you're not going to put a human on anyway. And then when she's crushing that and she's building the pipeline and she's creating your RFPs or creating your proposals, then she earns the right to be on the calls with the enterprise deals, right? And then can have that conversation. So it just makes a lot of sense for PLG where we wouldn't put a human anyway, because there's no business model to put a human on those calls because they're commercial deals. We're winning one out of every 100. It's $1,000. You do the math, there's no model to put a person. So we're just trying to feed them with content and videos, et cetera. But all of the content and all the way we've done marketing in the past has been one way. It's been a one-way form of communication. Here's a piece of content and information, you read it. There's no interaction. There's no two-way, did I read that correctly? Can you actually do this? Let's double click on that. You can't double click on a topic in a video. You can just listen to the static content. So I like to say the superhumans allow you to bring everything you've done from a marketing and sales perspective to life. So bring your content, bring your thought leadership to life and make it accessible to all of your buyers. That's our ultimate goal. Yeah.
And so let me ask you this, and this wasn't a question I premeditated, but just as we're going through, do you leverage your own superhuman personally as a CEO to make decisions, or walk us through what your thought process is on that?
I'm not leveraging it to make decisions yet, but I want to. So Ryan, thanks for the reminder that I need to be using AI and everything in every area of like, we are trying to be as AI first in everything that we do across our organization. But I will tell you where we are leveraging it, and holy shit, it's working. So she's on our website and she has conversations. So one, she does two things. She is the first line of contact. Somebody like they see this podcast and they're like, oh, what's OneMind? They go to onemind.com. They're like, oh, wow, there's like a photoreal face that meets you there. She shares slides. She gives a pitch. She shows the demos. She's also qualifying you. She's also using the Winning by Design SPICE methodology. Sorry, tongue twister. The SPICE methodology to qualify you. And then she books a meeting with our sales team. And the number of meetings, we're getting about 20 meetings a week. And I know that may not sound really small to everyone else. We are a seed stage company, and these are meetings with C-level executives. And when we get on the call, we know their pain. We know what they're looking to solve for. She's asked the questions about their volumes. So we can go to the next call can be so much more valuable because she's asking those tough questions. She's already given the pitch. So I don't have to give the demo. She's already given the demo. So I'm actually taking it to the next stage immediately on that first call. The other place that we're seeing tremendous value for ourselves, which I wasn't expecting, is in active deals. So for example, we were selling to one of the biggest CRM companies in the world. In a few months, I'll be able to name who that is. We have sold to them. We've sold multiple use cases. And as I was in that sales cycle, every time I would get on a call with somebody from their team, there'd be 10 new people. So 10 new people are like, oh, we're going to use this. We need to understand what this does, how it impacts what I'm doing within the organization. And there was a woman named Pamela who I think was a little bit resistant to the idea of the superhuman shoes, and which happens. The truth is, some people are going to love it and embrace it, and other people are going to completely reject it. And I get that. But I also believe that means that we're onto something, because no good category creating company is loved by all on day one. Imagine the day when you got in an Uber. Did we all think we were going to get in a stranger's car? Absolutely not. So the rejection actually is a positive signal in my mind. In any case, this woman, she ran the website, she ran marketing. She learned that they were going to bring the superhumans into their workflow. So she went out and had her own experience. She talked to Mindy on our website, asked really deep technical questions. She asked Mindy, she said, Mindy, can you send me the transcript of what we just talked about? And actually, Mindy wasn't trained to do that. So she said, no, that's a great idea. We should be doing that. And note to self, what's in our product roadmap to be able to send transcripts immediately if people ask for them. But she did flag me because I was the account owner. So she sent me an email saying, hey, I just had a conversation with this woman, Pam. Here's the conversation. Here's what she asked about. And it just so happened 2 hours later, I had a call with her. So I get on the call and I was like, hey, Pam, I saw you had, I sent you the transcript before the call myself because the AI didn't do it. And I said, I heard you had a call with Mindy on our website. And she's like, Amanda, I was really skeptical and I was not a believer. But she answered all my technical questions, all the API questions, how we'd integrate with other solutions. And she's like, I don't have any questions for you. And then she is now one of our biggest champions. So she's doing top of funnel, helping qualify, but she's also helping move that deal cycle faster, right? So instead of waiting to get on a call, she had her 10 questions answered, and everyone else in the deal cycle was. So her deal cycle went from what could have been 6 months to 9 months down to 2 or 3 months because Mindy was able to take those follow-up calls. I'm about to release my own clone of Amanda. Now, I don't recommend this for everybody, but for what we're doing and because I was what I'm trying to do and what my role here at the company, after I'm on a call, in my email signature, it's, you have any follow-up questions? You can talk to Amanda AI. You can talk to my Superhuman, which is a clone of me and my brain, my story, what I would say if I were on a call with you to help push the deal along without having to jump on a Zoom with me, or you can schedule with me.
Love that. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So, and to go back to my original question, which is great, you took it down the path of a really good story, which you're a great storyteller. I don't think I ever told you that, but you're a great storyteller.
Thanks.
So I created a AI CEO of myself, like a co-CEO version, which is kind of cool. And I went in and put a lot of different kind of data in. So to create your own Amanda AI, right? Like, what did you use for training data on that? Like, to make sure it really truly emulates you and embodies like who you are, what you do, and then cross-reference that with product data. Like, how did you make that happen?
Well, actually, Ryan, truth is, I've been writing my book for the past 4 years.
Okay.
Of my story and what I believe in. So I use those chapters, even though the book isn't really. Cool. So I just put that into her brain. My focus for her is not really to tell my story or be me. It's more to sell OneMind, to answer the questions about OneMind, but with, a likeness of me that can share and communicate the information. So it was kind of a clone of Mindy, who is our Superhuman on our website. So it's Mindy's brain with my backstory.
With your contextual. Okay, got it.
Basically, one mind Superhuman, but if you want to know a little bit about Amanda and you ask any personal questions, you're going to get the right answer.
Okay, so then I assume you just fed it with like all your internal like sales enablement, SOPs on how to act, like product information that you want to share, and then you just layered on like the pre-release of the book, which is kind of cool. So awesome. Well,
yeah, I also layered in gong calls. So we took like recordings and calls. So my best sales calls, I want her to listen to those best sales calls and emulate that same behavior. What are the questions I'm asking? How am I demoing? At what cadence and what flow? How am I getting to the pain and the impact and doing the solution selling? So I want her to mirror what I believe were some of my better calls when I was successful.
Awesome. Well, unfortunately, we're up on time right now. Where can people find you? Where can they find out more about OneMind? And I know exactly what you're going to say. And then we'll wrap things up for today.
You can go to onemind.com, talk to Mindy. So have a conversation. And I challenge you, if you have a conversation, really have a conversation. Like, give her your pain and what your needs are and watch those magic moments at how well she can respond. You can let her lead you down the path and you can have a really, just like a person. If you just say yes, no to a person, you're going to get a, she's going to share and she's going to give the demo. But if you give her your pain points and what you're trying to solve and what 2025 looks like for you, watch her crush it and watch her. And actually, you could ask her to role play as well. So you can do a lot of fun things with her in the experience. So also leave your email or your name there so I can get back to you. So that's one way, but you can also reach me on LinkedIn, Amanda Kahlow, /Amanda Kahlow.
Well, Amanda, thanks for being on today. This was a lot of fun, kind of like I anticipated, and looking forward to seeing you on the next episode because we have a part 2 coming up. So if you like what Amanda had to say, make sure you tune in for part 2 that's coming up next.
Awesome. Thanks, Ryan.